Hi, this will be an unboxing and first impression video of the Reolink Duo PoE IP camera. This camera was sent to me for free, so you should consider this a paid product demonstration. So, I have not seen the box or anything, so this will both be a first impression that can be used by the manufacturer and for you to see what's inside the box. So, it says it's 2 kilograms. Let's have a look. I have just opened it to check that it was in fact the camera I received. So let's see what the packaging says. So we will see that this camera has 2 lenses, so it can have a very wide field of view. And otherwise it does not say much on the outside packaging. So let's see what's inside of the box, and afterwards we will take a look at the technical specification, and last we will actually look a little on the software side, but this will mostly be what's inside the box and me commenting on the hardware, what I see. So let's open it. So Reolink usually do very well packaging. So we will see here first a box with some paper in. We will take a look at that later. Let's just first open everything up. So we have some very nice styrofoam, which fitted well with the paper. So far so good. More styrofoam, good quality styrofoam. And let's see, there's the usual very short cable. It's great if you need a short cable. And some waterproofing. Let's have a look at that later. Some screws for mounting. What? A screwdriver. Okay. Well, in case you didn't have a screwdriver, here's a screwdriver. I think that was a little unnecessary, but let's have a look. So there's some extra protecting back here and some plastic on top of this. Great. Let's see. It's a little hard to get out, but I think it's okay. Here we have it. And let's just be sure that this was in fact everything in the box. Yes, it is. So the styrofoam is very good. There's both styrofoam at the top and the bottom. So that's improvement. This is an improvement from previous packaging. So it has one of these standard mounts, which I don't know the name of. So that's great. You can actually mount it on something completely different with the same screw. But this is what comes with it. And of course it can be mounted here. And let's see if the included screwdriver works. But I don't have 4 hands. So it slightly works. Yes, great. And okay, there's a screw hole on both sides, so you can actually decide, because it's probably a good idea to have the SD card down, so water, or even though it's waterproof, just to be sure. We also see some holes here, so I think definitely you should mount it this way so water cannot seep in here. And in this case, if you want it mounted on top of something, then of course you need to screw it in here instead. But you have both options. And there's a mounting plate here, which I assume that you have to slide in or something like that. Yes, it works here. Yeah, yes. So you actually attach these 2 screws, and then you have another screw you can attach this. So this seems like a big improvement of one of the other cameras I did a review of. You can see on top here, a dome camera that was very hard to mount. This seems significantly easier because you can first mount this and then put this on top and mount it. Okay, great. Let's have a look at how it actually looks, because I think it doesn't meet the people's expectation on what a security camera should look like. Let's just temporarily move this protective film so we can see how it looks. This seems like a little hard to do. We can do it here. So you can see here, this is how it looks. I think this is a night sensor. We can actually look at this. Let's see, because we have a nice drawing here. And number 2, yes, it says daylight sensor, so that was a daylight sensor. And here we can also see it, how it can be mounted on the wall. And with a single screw to attach this entire plate to it. This plate or mounting is made of hard plastic, but it is plastic. So of course I think I would have preferred for it to be in metal, but that's how it is. Yes. Let's look at the accessories. So we have what we have seen before with Reolink. This thing for making it waterproof. Okay, let's see. But it's still possible to power it with DC. So the intent is that you can power it with Power over Ethernet, PoE. But you can supply DC power in here. But my problem with this, there's no cap on top of here to make this waterproof. It could be smart if somebody made a 3D printed cap you could put in here. But at least it doesn't have a reset button, which some of the previous cameras had. I would have liked that they did not have this, that rather it was something additionally, a split cable that was included in the box that splitted this one out. So in case you just use PoE and this, then it's completely waterproof without this being subjected to water. But that's how it is. Okay. So that was what it was inside the box. Let's just see the included papers. I'm hoping there's a mounting guide for this. But let's see. There's some stickers. We have seen that before. Some decoration, which we don't need to read. A big instruction guide. Yes, it does include mounting, but it doesn't include the entire thing here. It's just the mounting for this. So it would have been better if this mounting template, screwing template, or what we will call it, included this. So you're actually knowing how to fit everything together. Yes. That's a common mistake they have made before. And there's an installation guide for doing the waterproof. But as I said before, this part here is not waterproof. So ideally you want to have the entire cable not outside in the weather. If you can make a hole, drill a hole that's big enough for you to put the entire thing inside, that would be great. So that was basically it for the physical demonstration. Let's see how it looks on the software side. Hi, so this is my setup now with 5 cameras. In the lower right corner you see me talking on a web camera, and the 2 upper cameras are actually the one camera we are reviewing now, the dual camera, and on the bottom left there's an extra web camera I can use to show you. So here's the camera, right? And we also have another Reolink camera just to compare it with. So let's start by testing. And just look at my multi-monitor setup here now to do all this. Crazy. Okay, so the first thing we are going to take a look at is the field of view, because this is the main selling point of this camera, that it has a huge field of view. So if we look at the bottom Reolink camera, which I reviewed before, you can look up in the corner. I will put a link there, or should I do it with the mouse up here? A link to my review of this camera, which I cannot remember the name of. So if we look at that, it actually has one of the largest field of view for a single lens camera from Reolink. It's pretty large, but when we look at the dual lens setup, it's even larger. And there's something where if I try to view both cameras at the same time, this keeps popping up. I don't know. So, but the problem is, well, we have the problem with stretch lenses. If we see on the single lens camera, we see a bending on the edges, and when you have a dual lens, then of course you still have this bending. It's not that strong, but it means that you have some duplication here where we can see the same box twice. That's not so big a problem, but if in the middle there's something missing. So if I am exactly in the middle and show my fingers, then some fingers are missing. You see, there's a little detail in the middle that's missing. So that's something to be aware of. I would have preferred there was a slight overlap, so you were sure that you didn't miss any information. But in generally, we have a very huge field of view, starting from all the way here, going. Yeah, there's a box in the way here. And there's always a delay when you watch these security cameras. I haven't adjusted the colors like I did on the bottom one, so the colors match more precisely. You shouldn't think too much about that. So that's how it works. Let's have a look at the technical details. So let's start and looking at the technical specifications. So this was the name, the Reolink Duo PoE, and just for comparison, I have this, the 810A, and if we look, that's the two cameras we have. So of course this video is about the dual lens. So let me just comment on the technical specifications. We start by comparing the resolution, and at first glance this resolution is lower than this resolution, which is about the 4K, and this is a little less, or should we say instead 4 megapixels and 8 megapixels. That's probably a better number, but remember there's two cameras here, so you actually get about the same amount of pixels, but you get them more stretched out, which is probably what you want in most cases. There's something about the focal length and such I'm not an expert in, but we also see it here in the horizontal view. So you have a very large horizontal view compared to the other one, which also have a pretty large horizontal view, but this on the Duo it's even greater because it's actually two lenses. The vertical slightly less. Then worth noting is that of course it uses PoE, but it only uses 12 watts or less than 12 watts, and that means that you can use the first standard of PoE, so it is compatible with all PoE switches, even very old ones you might have. And I think that's basically it, what I want to comment on the technical side. Okay, so let's get to the conclusion of this video. So I will just go through the different points. So the box says that it's 4 megapixels, but I think really it is 2 times 4 megapixels, for each camera is 4 megapixels. Then we have the styrofoam. It was very good. It's nice to see. And this time it's also both at the top and the bottom of the box. And the mounting bracket can easily be installed by itself. Let's just see, where did I put the mounting bracket? There we have it. So the point is that you can easily install this on these 2 holes, and then once it's installed, you simply just connect the camera arm like this. That's it, and there's a hole here to get the cables through. Then the mounting template does not include the entire camera arms, how it is on the wall. It only includes this. It would be nice if it also had this. You can actually just see it. So we see it only includes the metal bracket, not the entire arm. So you could actually make an installation where you notice afterwards you cannot connect the camera arm because it's not included on the template. Then let's have a talk about the camera itself. It has a very wide field of view, and that is its main selling point. So let's not forget about that. But on the other side, the visual appearance of the camera is quite different from what you expect from a camera. It will probably not be approved by your wife. It's not something that looks nice in a home, in my opinion. On the other hand, it is something you notice. So if you want people to be scared that there's cameras, you will definitely see this camera. So it depends on what you want. It's a camera that gets noticed. And the battery, the camera arm is out of plastic. Maybe that's good enough. I would have preferred it was metal, aluminium. Again, the DC plug is, let's just disconnect the camera. The DC plug is exposed to the weather. It would have been nice with a cap or a separate cable that could inject DC power. So it was not even on the cable. And as we talked about before, there's a small gap between the 2 sensors. So it's a negative. It would be better if there was a small overlap than a small gap. So that's all my different points. But in the end, the main selling point of this camera is the very wide field of view. That's what you get. You even wider than the best second camera from Reolink. So that is, if that's what you want, then this is the camera for you. So that's all. Thanks for this time. Bye bye.